Not the disability. My name is John. I'm the president of STAND. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you that here on YouTube, we are also in support to anyone that goes to any college that might be going to college or have a disability or any other challenge that you might be facing. The online version of STAND is it isn't affiliated with the other STAND, which we have as well, which is part of Ivy Tech. If you go to Ivy Tech Community College and you would like to join STAND, you can do so. Just find us at the Ivy Tech. We send out emails through the state, sometimes announcements and so on. But you can find us on the Ivy Live page. That is where you'll find STAND. So if you go to college and you would like to join that, we do welcome you. You don't have to have a disability. You can just be having struggles or other challenges, or maybe you just like to help others and you'd like to be a part of that. We welcome anyone that would like to join. All right, back to here on YouTube. And we're also going to be talking to, we've got someone else that's going to join us here. I'm getting ready to go there now.
Sound 11 to 45. Team viewer 30 Turtle Beach talking flight monitor 17 talk 5 classic 8 to 40.
Because he's waiting on us up there. So we'll go up there. And me and Brandon is going to be talking about goal setting. And we're going to be talking about, just following your path, your dreams, your goals. And, how important that is, because it's very important. And, sometimes people, unfortunately, come across the wrong people, and it slows them down. Because they begin to think and begin to feel that, well, maybe that's not for me. Maybe I was just thinking too big for myself. And I don't believe that. So heartily, I don't believe that. So I believe that, if you set goals and it's something that you want, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't go for that. And there's no reason that you should allow anyone else to bring you down. And when that happens, you need to learn how to just keep going forward. And we're going to talk about it. So, we welcome you. I would like to remind all of you to give us a thumbs up. And also share this with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any other social sites that you might be a part of.
Team Talk 5.
Sharing is everything here on YouTube. Especially giving the thumbs up. That does help out a lot. The thumbs up helps us with the algorithm of YouTube. And without, doing the thumbs up and the sharing, it makes it that much harder for us to get our name out there. And, it's important that we can do that. So, and now here we are with Brandon. Brandon's going to join us, and me and him will be talking to you guys. So, Brandon, what's up, man? How's it going?
Going good. So I was just hearing your little opening on setting goals, and I do want to, I want to comment on that, and I totally agree with you on that point, because I've had somebody who wanted to take a class, and then they ran into somebody and they're like, maybe it's too big, and they ended up taking it and passing the class. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been several times that I can look back. I can think of situations where people was going to do something, and then they get other people that's negative, and they say, "Oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. That's not for you." Well, who are you to decide what is for me? Who are you to decide what I want and what makes me happy, and that something that I'm working for? You have no right to do that, and anyone that does that, those are the people that you ignore, that you pay no attention to.
I agree.
Yeah, if I had listened to others, in my past, and even before I started college, I'd still be sitting in the same situation where I was before I even started, and that was with absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And I think, unfortunately, more people listen to that versus actually saying, okay, I'm going to do this and go achieve the goal,
Yeah, and so you might be going
which
through a
is
hard time or
unfortunate.
something, and we all do as we're going through different challenges and as we're fighting to get where we want to be in life. Sometimes things don't always happen that easy, and so you've got someone telling you not to do it on top of that struggle you're already going through, and you connect those, and you say, well, yeah, maybe you're right, and that's where you're wrong. You're connecting two dots that don't belong. You're connecting because you're having a hard time with someone telling you not to do it, and they shouldn't be connected. It should be
Yeah.
reflected. They should be reflected. You need to reflect on what you're seeing, and you say, you know what, I am having a hard time, but I'm not going to listen to this person because I can do better, and I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
And only you, as a person, can convince yourself that you're going to do it. So here's my question for people: if you're fighting for a goal or a dream, who decides that? You decide that.
Exactly.
Where do I come in the picture to tell you what you can or cannot do? Why is that the motivator to drive you to quit? I mean, isn't that
Yeah.
kind of hypocritical? You work hard to get somewhere, and then you just stop because I tell you should stop? No. You don't. You keep going. You keep fighting. And you eventually, I promise you, you'll get through it, and then you'll be like, daggone, I'm glad I listened. I'm glad I didn't just throw in the towel. I mean, there's a lot of people every day that give up. And they give up just because. That's why they give up. Just because. Because why?
Yep.
There is no real reason. Just because they did. Because of others. And the negativity and the things that can stop someone real quick. Well, it didn't stop me. I graduated. I got my diploma. I got my degree. I'm getting ready to get another degree. As a matter of fact, if you look at the time, I have received, or will have received, 2 degrees in only 3 years. It typically takes 2 years
Wow.
to receive 1 degree. So, I think I'm doing something right, right? I'm doing something right because I'm only listening to myself. And I'm ahead of the game because of it. Doesn't mean
It's
that there's
it's
no
funny
struggle.
you bring up
'cause-
degrees.
What's that?
I said it's funny you bring up degrees in less than so many years because I actually have somebody in my own family who is an uncle of mine who has over 9 degrees from different colleges around the country.
That's
and
amazing.
He just recently stopped. He just recently stopped going because he was like, "Well, I don't know what else I'm knowledgeable at." So, and he was kind of tired of going to college. But I was like, "Wow, he's got over 9 degrees
That's
from different
That's
places."
keep talking. I'm gonna shut my door here.
And yeah, he's got degrees in business and bookkeeping and everything else. So it's really amazing.
Brandon.
And he's in
That
his
just goes to
60s or
show that-
70s. Yeah.
When you want something and you go for it, well, then there's the outcome for you. I mean, look, being successful does not mean that, because I'm successful, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm better than anybody else, because I'm no better than you. I'm no better than Brandon. He's no better than me. I'm no better than the guy next door. And, the president is no better than me, and I'm no better than the president. We just have different goals, different paths that we've taken. There was a comment made a while back, and it came from we've actually had 3 different presidents of the United States that have recognized the college that I go to.
Wow.
And, you know, the reason being is we were talking about, you know, just staying on the path of success. And, you know, even though, you know, the college I go to is not a big college. It just goes to show you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size. It's what you're doing is what matters, and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you got a disability and you're struggling, figure it out. Don't say, well, I can't because they said I can't do it. Because I think that is, you know, a little bit of constructive criticism for you here. If you listen to that and you believe that, then you are no better than they are. If you actually
agree.
believe that you cannot do something because they tell you so, you are just as pathetic as they are. So I'm going to ask you, is that what you want people to see you as? Someone that only listens to others, or shouldn't you just keep going and go for them things that you want? Life's not easy, period. But it's up to you, me, and anyone else that's ever set a goal. I don't care what the goal is. As long as we go for it and we accomplish it, that's the ones that keep going forward. Right?
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
and it reflects on, you know, the other live stream that we did about leadership and about self leadership and self-care and self-awareness and all that. It's all connected. Every bit of it's connected. And you'll find that about this channel is, no matter what I'm talking about, every bit of it will always be connected in one form or another. Always. You gotta lay down. Now I gotta shut my door again. Lay down.
Gotta love that.
Stay right there. Okay. My dog likes to open my door, I guess. But I've seen too many people just give up, and I'm tired of seeing people give up because someone tells them that's what they need to do. You know, I'm gonna share a story with you, and this was, I gotta think back how long it's actually been. Let's see, I was married. I was still in Ohio. So I'm gonna go with, let's say 13 years. Well, just roughly 12, 13 years ago, 14 years. I wanted to run my own business. And I needed some help doing so that I could provide resources and the services I wanted to do. And actually, now I'm glad I never did do it, but that's just all part of living life. But anyway, I went in front of these people that had to approve it. And as soon as I walked in the room and I sit down, I'm at a table, and there's 5 or 6 people at the table, and we're all kind of in a square.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the moment I sit down what the answer was going to be. I knew by the way they were talking to me, the way they were looking at me, and the way that they were questioning me, I knew that they was going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
So I stood up. I said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to apologize to every one of you, even though I don't think I owe you any other type of apology. Because I know you're about to tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of me sitting here and waiting for you to tell me no, that I'm not going to be successful, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk out. because I will not stand here
Yep.
and let you or anyone else tell me what I need to do in my life. Now, granted, I never did start that business up, but that was due to my own choices, my own knowledge that I received about the business. And point being, though, it doesn't matter if it's one person or a room full of people. At the end of the day, you're the one that's in control on what's going to happen.
Yep.
So, I want you to think about that. And if you're in college, you really need to think about that. Because college is rough. You know, people always say it's fun. College is fun. No, going to maybe a big university, that can be fun if you're still staying in a dorm and you're hanging out with other young people or whatever. That can be fun. But beyond that, college is tough. Classes are tough. They expect more out of you than what you're usually prepared for.
Yep.
So, while you're going through college, you're going to have those that's going to try to slow you down. That might tell you you're not able to do this or you shouldn't do this. Again, who are they to tell you what you are going to do? So, you need to reverse that around and say, you know what? I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Not what you want me to do.
You know, I've had a few people talking about college and different things. Yeah, people from this community alone, they've actually come to me asking me about, well, does college provide Braille? And I've had to tell people, no, they don't provide Braille. You're going to have to figure out different ways of doing your work in your class material because Braille is not provided. And it's so amazing to me that some people have been told before they graduated high school, oh yeah, you'll get Braille materials in college, when you won't. You absolutely will not.
Well, I think they made a big mistake getting rid of Braille. And let me tell you why. I understand the technology of it. I understand that it's cheaper. You know, printing Braille is very expensive. I mean, the encyclopedia, I believe, if I recall, is it 10 or 20 Braille books? I can't
I think
remember.
it's like 20 volumes.
Yeah, 20 volumes for the encyclopedia. So, one encyclopedia that's got regular small print is one book. To get that in Braille, it's 20 books. And it's not just 10 pages neither. They're thick. As thick as wide as you can spread your fingers, probably how wide that book or how thick that book is. But anyway, let me get back on. I think it was, or that it is, a big mistake to take away the option for a student to have Braille. I'm going to give you a good example why I think it's a mistake. Well, I'll give you a couple. Number one, we're just going to talk about a little bit of just common sense here on health and knowledge. The way your eyes work, when you go to read, it's an instant connection between you and what you're reading. It's instant from your eyes to your, from the book to your brain. It's an instant connection. You're automatically getting that. Now, what's the other sense, Brandon, that we use to replace our eyes?
Touch.
And touch is just as equal as vision when it comes to the sense. Of that sense, if that makes sense. Meaning, when you touch something, you're going to instantly know what that is.
Yep.
Now, reading in Braille, you're instantly getting what that word is, what the words are, what the paragraph is. You're instantly getting that from the book to your brain. That's not the way it is when you're doing audio.
No.
And let's think about it. The screen reader, for example. People make a mistake. That's still technically audio. That is audio coming from the screen reader to your ears and then to your brain.
To your brain.
So there's a delay. There's instead of it being a direct connection, it's not direct.
Yep.
It's the audio of it, your brain understanding what the audio is, and then your brain receiving it on what it is it is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, second thing, example, I'm in Spanish, and I've got to do 3 more years of it for 1 semester each year. But I really want to learn it because it's part of my, my degree, part of my career. And
Yeah.
the best way would have been in Braille, so that I can
Yep.
read the word and see that word exactly how it looks and how to pronounce it. They got special symbols that indicate different ways of pronouncing things. Like 2 L's is actually not, like if you're saying well, W-E-L-L. Well, if that was in Spanish, they'd think you're saying we-u, because it's 2 L's symbolizes you or Y.
Yeah. Yeah. Why?
And so the little things make a big difference. And now I'm trying to get a Braille display, but they're not cheap. They do have a cheap version of one, but I'm still debating that. Anyway, point being, Brandon, Braille, I don't think Braille should have. I think it still should have been an option. Maybe not mainstream
I agree.
publishing, but secondary publishing, meaning if you needed it, we could publish it. We could get you a book for
Either
it.
that, or we could, this, Braille display prices now. Yeah, some of them are expensive, but the cheaper ones, like if you needed a way just to read your information, the school maybe could provide the cheaper alternative for a Braille display so you could read the material. But I agree with you. I think Braille should be an option. I mean, because you don't necessarily have to print it now in big, bulky bindings like you used to have to, and I'm actually glad of that.
Right. And that's why I'm trying to do the Braille display thing, because I'm still getting it in Braille. I can just plug up to it, and not technically plug up, because I think you can do it Bluetooth, but either way, Braille is so important. And
It is important.
I'm not 100% with Braille, meaning there's some refreshing I need to do with it, but for the most part, I can read it and know what's going on. It's just one of them things that doesn't never go away. I mean, I think some of the symbols I might need to refresh on, but like YR, that's for your, and CD is could. So there's all these different, and some of them I forget probably, but for the most part I could probably figure it out. It's kind of like reading a word letter by letter, and someone just putting a couple letters to symbolize that whole word. You can figure it out, but
Yeah, I mean, the point is, it's like you're riding a bike. Once you learn it, you'll never lose it.
yeah, exactly. And it goes back to, one of them things where, if that's something you're struggling with, you're going through college and materials aren't the way you need them to be, that doesn't mean walk away. It doesn't mean throw in the towel. That means go back to your special accommodations and they'll figure it out. That's what they're there for. But overall, my point is this. No matter where you're going or what you're doing, if you're in college, you've got goals. And how are you going to feel tomorrow if you just walk away from it?
Yeah.
You're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be mad at yourself. And I promise you, then you're going to get mad at the others for convincing you to do so.
Oh yeah, I see that a lot.
I could have pursued criminal justice a lot farther than what I did. But the last thing that I didn't do was stop because someone told me to. I just stopped because I looked at, better paths, and, psychology is something that's, well, criminal justice will always be there too, but psychology, there's so many different doors you can take with that. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, well, I'm going to go that route. I looked at like age, going to college as a older man. I looked at, the time frame between that. I would at least need to go to college for another at least 6 years. 4 of them years being law school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not, it's just not my cup of tea. Now, you never know. I could wake up some other time and be like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to do that. But point is, I go for what I want. And so should you.
Exactly.
Brendan, have you ever can you think of a time when you ever did something different because of somebody else? Is there ever a time that, you
I've
done
had
something?
that many a time, but I can't think of a really recent time off the top of my head. But yes, I've had it.
And you can probably
I've had that
remember
happen.
the way you felt when you realized that you shouldn't have listened to them people.
Yep.
It's never a good feeling. And, my thing is just to see people succeed. And, I mean, that's why Stand exists. It's because I believe in the people that are looking for support. And I believe that if we can provide a little more knowledge to another person, a little more support, then we can make it a better place to be. And, we've got the online version of Stand, and we've got the college version of it. But at the end of the day, they're both for the same purposes. I got to treat them different just because of, legalities and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's what it's for, is to help others. And
Yep.
if you ever have a story you'd like to share with us, we'd love to have you on. You can contact us. The email is in the description. Or if there's a topic you'd like us to cover, you can always contact us and say, hey, what would you do in this scenario? Or, there might be resources that you're looking for. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to, I don't know, go to college to, I don't know, run your own business, for example. And maybe you need some resources because you're being visually impaired, or maybe you need resources because maybe you're in a wheelchair. I don't know, but point is, if you need resources, you can reach out to us as well, and we'll give you what resources we can to help you. For another legal reason, I will tell you that all this is just, we're giving you our opinion. It's not anything that I'm saying you got to do it this way, or that it's a fact, or that we're telling you that you got to do this or got to do that. This is all about support. Giving you our opinions, our thoughts, our views, our concerns. And that's it. So if you do something and then you say, well, I didn't listen to them because John said don't listen to these people, and now I don't listen to them, and now look what happened. Don't do that. Okay? Because if you're doing all the right things, that'll never be a problem anyways. We're here to help you succeed, not fail. Anything else you'd like to add, Brandon?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Alright, guys, so it'll probably be next week sometime when I go live again. Not sure what the topic's going to be yet. I go live when I think of areas that need to be discussed. And every week, I'll be doing that. Matter of fact, next week, I believe we're going to go live. We're going to talk about mobility, guide dogs, canes, stuff like that. And you know what? I'm going to do a sub discussion here just for a minute, because I got to tell you, those of you that pretend to have disabilities just so you can get your dog in the store, it is just as disrespectful and wrong as what it would be for me to walk outside with a Marine uniform on, pretending to be a Marine. It is the same amount of disrespect and breaking the law than one from the other.
Yep.
If you don't have a disability, stop taking advantage of our disabilities. You're taking advantage of me. You're taking advantage of Brandon and every other person that has a disability just so you can take a dog in the store with you or on a plane with you. And now you're making it harder for us to be able to do that because you want to be a fake.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that. Think about what you're actually doing to us and the disrespect. Now, we're going to talk more on this next week, so be sure to join us. Again, give us a thumbs up, because it does make a big difference in the wonderful YouTube algorithm. If we don't get a thumbs up and a share, then the algorithm just passes us right on by. I'd like to eventually be able to put Stand in the search bar on YouTube and us be at the top. Not 10 listings below it.
Yeah, it's amazing what you get when you type in that word in the search area of YouTube.
Yeah, so help us out. Give us a thumbs up. Okay, watch the other videos. Give those thumbs up. Share it, share it, share it. I know everybody has probably got different platforms that you go on, so share it on that stuff. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even WhatsApp. I mean, you could share it on all of them. And the algorithm will see that and say, whoa, these people are sharing this on WhatsApp and whatever. So help us out. That's what we're asking.
Master volumes.
But
Ops 27.
until next time,
Stop recording. Checkbox checked. Stop streaming. Checkbox checked.
you guys need anything, let us know. We'll help you if we can. All right. Y'all take care. And we'll talk to you here soon.
Stop recording. Checkbox checked.
Thanks for joining Stand Here. See the ability, not the disability. And until next time, stay safe. Good luck.
Start
And
virtual.
we'll talk
Stop
to you
recording.
soon.
Checkbox.